Lakeridge Health Center. Health services in Scugog are among the best in Ontario, and our hospital has been sorely missed. We welcome it back. All who were involved in this endeavor from the moment the alarm was sounded until this moment should be praised, thanked, and cheered. Our health should never be taken for granted, and every medical professional, EMS worker, and volunteer again can work their magic for and toward you in this wonderful edifice. Enjoy your new facility. Reopen on schedule and maybe even on budget. With our necessities in mind. Congratulations to all. Cry aloud this 5th day of September 2018 in the township of Scugog. God bless Lakeridge, our medical professionals, workers and volunteers. God bless health, life, liberty, and United Canada. God bless our emergency and armed services and elected officials. God bless single malt, and God save the Queen.
Well, thank you so much. That was amazing. I got promoted, but I'm okay. It's all good. I just wanted to add a few, that was Christine Nuremberger. Apparently there's been a coup and she's taken over as president of the hospital. I think she wanted that announced after this ceremony, so thank you so much. That was amazing. I want to share the sentiment of welcoming everyone back. A particular thanks to everyone who has put so much energy into bringing back our hospital. There's a few people I want to add to the welcomes. First, Chief Kelly LaRocca, Mississaugas of Scugog Island First Nation. Where's Kelly? I'm staring at Kelly. I'm a little nervous, Kelly. I wasn't paying attention. There we go. Kathy McLeod Beaver, our Aboriginal navigator in the Central East Regional Cancer Program. Where is Kelly? Kathy? Good morning. We have residents from the villa here, and there's one resident in particular I want to acknowledge, and her name is Noreen Malcolm, apparently known as Toots. She's sitting over here. She's going to tell me later. She hasn't told me why she's called Toots yet, so I'm hoping to gain her trust, and she'll give me the story behind that. Noreen was here when we first opened the hospital, originally. Noreen was an auxiliary member for 63 years. She has her diamond pin to show for it. And Noreen and her friend Shirley. Now, Shirley didn't know she was going to get introduced this morning, so I just wanted to share the embarrassment with everybody, right? Make everybody feel uncomfortable this morning. Shirley Foster, and Shirley was a nurse here 47 years. Did I get that right? 47 years a nurse here at the Port Perry Hospital. Thank you very much for coming. I want to add that they told me, they confided in me this morning that they got up at 4:30 this morning in anticipation and excitement of coming here. That puts me to shame. I didn't get up at 4:30, so, but thank you very much, and a particular thanks for you coming today. It makes today that much more special. Thank you. I forgot to mention as well, Noreen was on the first board of directors of this hospital, so a long and beautiful history with this hospital, so thank you, Noreen. Also want to acknowledge the Central East Lynn is here, in particular call out Dr. Barry Guppy. Where is Barry? There's Barry in the back there. Glad that he's not at the microphone this morning. So Barry is the CEO of the Lynn and was with Lakeridge Health for many, many years. So we're very fortunate to have Barry here and to have him at the Lynn. We also have members of the Lakeridge Health Board of Directors here. If you can just wave your hand when I call your name. Mark Ashcroft, I see Mark in the back there. Ben Gray, I did see Ben slip in, there he is. They all hide at the back, it's amazing. They stay really far away from the podium. Barb Brady is here, where's Barb? There she is. And Cordelia. Cordelia just joined us, our board about a year ago from the Pickering community. We're very excited to have her join us, so thank you, Cordelia, for coming. A couple others that we'd like to recognize. All of our friends from Council who have joined us today. We have our first responders, Chief Mark, who has been kind enough to never stand beside me again. Thank you, Chief, for doing that. We also, a shout out to our friends from Durham Police, and truly we would not be able to be here in this building without their fast action, so thank you so much. Also want to acknowledge Steve Gray and our friends from Medical Associates who have stood by us all the way through this and have been amazing. We also have a number of folks who came up from Toronto today who have been a little bit of our unsung partners in all of this, and those are the amazing folks from all of the construction and electrical companies who worked tirelessly to get us back and operational in such a fast period of time. So thanks to H.H. Angus Prime Consultant, Deneen Construction, Ontario Electric, Mutual Mechanical, HDR Architect Consultants, and EXP Structural Engineers. Without their work in coming and doing all of this, we truly would not be open today, so thank you very much. I have a number of names, but there's only one that I feel I need to call out among our team. Everybody did so much for us. One person in particular, Graham King. Graham's standing right over here. Graham, can you put your hand up? I visited this site night and day over the time that it was closed, and whenever I was here, Graham was here. And as many of you know, I live nearby, and when I would drive by, there was always one car sitting out in that parking lot, even overnight, and I'm pretty sure it was Graham's. So thank you, Graham, and thank you to all of our partners who have made this, this day possible. We want to respectfully acknowledge that we are gathered on the land and traditional territory of the Mississaugas of Scugog Island First Nation, a branch of the greater Anishinaabe Nation. We gather with gratitude and we say Magwetch to thank the Mississaugas and other Aboriginal peoples for caring for this land from time immemorial and for sharing this land covered by Treaty 20 with those of us who are newcomers. Out of gratitude, we are called to treat the land, its plants, animals, stories, and its people with honor and respect. I'd like to ask Chief Kelly LaRocca, Chief of the Mississaugas of Scugog Island First Nation, to come forward. We have many friends here today from the Mississaugas of Scugog Island, and it's an honor for her to join us today. Chief LaRocca will lead us in a smudging ceremony. Over to you, Chief.
Anin Bojo, Najwe Makwakwe Indigenous, Wabsushi Dodem, Shage Dodem, Scugog Minising Don Jaba. That's an introduction in our language, Anishinaabe Moin. I basically said, hello, my name is Kelly. I'm from Scugog Island First Nation, and my Aboriginal spirit name, it translates to beautiful bear woman, which I always credit to my former elder, late elder, Harold Ashkue. I lucked out in the name department. I want to say so many things, but first I'd like to just say thank you for having us here to support you in your grand opening of the new hospital, the renewed hospital. I want to acknowledge my council, Councillor Jamie Coons here, who's helping assist us with today's smudge, as well as Councillor Laura Caldwell. They're my team members, right and left-hand people. They support the band and lift the band up in their leadership, and I want to acknowledge them. I'd also like to acknowledge Lisa Edgar in the back, our First Nation manager. She is like, I'd say like a CAO plus, but she runs the day-to-day of the band. And Jamie Kozlinski here, who's our receptionist. She is the one that you all call and first talk to when you call in. So I just want to acknowledge her being here, as well as the MSIFN Donations Committee. You know, I'd like to just talk briefly about the smudge. Smudging is done to sort of cleanse a room or a person of negative energy or even illness. So I think it's very appropriate that we engage in the ceremonial smudge today. Smudging's for everybody. It's basically non-secular. It's secular. It's non-partisan. It's there for everybody. The plants we smudge with, cedar, sage, sweetgrass, and tobacco, are sacred plants of our people that grow in and around the indigenous land that we all share, and that's why we're using them today. So, you know, it's very, like I say, very appropriate to do this. I think it brings good energy to the room and good health. So where better place to do it than a hospital? And I'd like to acknowledge Kathy McLeod-Beaver again for Aboriginal Health Navigator. She works in the cancer care program and is really working to bring the smudge to Lakeridge Health because it's needed for those persons who want to engage in it, whether they're Indigenous or not. I don't mean to be rude, but my notes are on my phone, so if you'll forgive me, I didn't do the old school handwriting. Again, I want to say thank you for having me say a few words. It's truly an honor. You know, I can't say enough amazing, great things about our hospital. It has given me the Cadillac of healthcare, quite frankly. I recently had my second baby and ended up at Markham Stouffville. But I can say I surely missed the ladies, the doctors, everybody here, the nurses here who took such good care of me when I had my first child, Ruby. It's just been amazing. So I want to lift the staff and the doctors and all the volunteers at the hospital up and praise and say thank you for such amazing care. You know, I want to really give a shout out to Chief Mark Burney of the Scugog Fire Department and all of the volunteers and firefighters. You know, I said to Mark today, this is a proud day for you. He responded, well, you know, I wish it had have been put out sooner. And I looked at him and I said, this is fire. You guys did what you could do. And it was amazingly responded to in a very quick and swift manner. And so I think we should really acknowledge that and raise our hands. Thank you. And I've always said to my council, you know, if we have a fire at Scugog, I know who I want to be there. I want Mark to be there, and I know he will, so miigwech. You know, I would like to, again, more appropriately, of course, acknowledge the elders in the room and the persons here from the villa, members of our Scugog Island First Nation and from the Port Perry Scugog Township. I'd like to, again, give a shout out to the Donations Committee, Durham Regional Council, Scugog Township Council, obviously, being huge supporters of this, the leadership at the Port Perry Hospital and the foundation, and thanks to all of your dedication to our township and to our First Nation. It's a big, proud day, and you know, I was thinking this morning, what are some witty things to say? It's like a phoenix rising from the ashes. You know, literally, it's a new and improved hospital. It's a hospital reborn, and I just think I'm so grateful for this. I remember discussions that the hospital might shut down at one point. I think Bob Ray opened the Stephen B. Roman wing next door, and I'm going to say this line because I just thought it was hilarious. So next door obviously wasn't as touched by the fire as it was here, but when he opened that wing, the Stephen B. Roman wing, I guess he stood up and he said, "Friends, Romans, countrymen," and everybody just roared. I thought that was hilarious. But anyway, you know, it's literally carrying on. Again, there was threats that the hospital might close. I think that's crazy. I think if ever there was a case to be made that this hospital is needed, we've just witnessed it as proof. Our people need it very much, so miigwech. The doctors and nurses are amazing. We do, as a community at Mississaugas of Scugog Island First Nation, we're deeply committed to the doctor recruitment program. And I just want to give a shout out to our community doctor, Dr. Rebecca Ray, who does such amazing community health work with our First Nation in conjunction with Lakeridge Health. And we're very grateful for that. You know, I just wanted to say, you know, from the bottom of my heart, we couldn't be more committed to the hospital as a community. We've very proudly donated well over $1 million to the hospital and continue to keep on keeping on because it's a cause we're deeply committed to. And thank you for all of your work, everyone in this room and beyond. Miigwech, have a fabulous day.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, everybody. So I'm supposed to just MC today, which means I'm not supposed to give any speeches, but, you know, I have a microphone, I have an audience, like, it's just not possible, right? I just wanted to say a couple quick words. I know there's a few other people who are going to come up and say some thank yous, but I just want to say it's only been a year, but in some ways it's been a long year. It's great to get our hospital back going again. This has been felt across all of Durham Region. Everyone had to pull together when we had our fire, and everyone did. Our team, our community partners, everyone. Today we look forward. We all know about the fire and that great and terrible day, but today it's about what has happened since then, specifically the tireless dedication of everyone to reopen. And we are reopening today because of all of you. Starting with Sharon Cochran, our chair and our entire board, there was never a thought of doing anything else than reopening. And all of you made that direction very easy. Port Perry is not just a community hospital. It is the community hospital. Volunteers, donors, docs, nurses, environmental staff, techs, administration, engineering. The lines and the roles that we play in this hospital are all blurred together. This is a hospital that is truly built on, supported by, and fully immersed with its community. Port Perry is not just a community hospital. It's a belief system. It's a commitment. It's a way of being, all rooted in community and caring and commitment to one another. And that transcends bricks and mortar. Look at the emotion of staff and community members alike when we had to close. Look at the commitment of Mel and Todd and other Todd and Lisa and Joni and Carrie and so many others. They were here day and night. They showed the kind of compassion that you normally reserve for a loved one. They showed that for this hospital. That's how they responded, and that's why we're opening today. And that commitment extends to the whole Lakeridge Health team. It was a system response, including the things that we did not do at other hospitals so we could free up resources to be here. And that was not done grudgingly. That was done with enthusiasm. From east to west of Durham, everyone cared. Everyone knows what Port Perry Hospital means to all of Durham. They happily made sacrifices. In fact, when I was over at the Ajax Pickering Hospital, there was a gentleman who works down in shipping, and every time that I saw him, his first question to me was, "How are things going at Port Perry Hospital?" This is all part of a system. So thanks to all of you. You've made this possible. Port Perry Hospital has played a critical role in healthcare in Durham for decades. And today, we begin its next chapter of leadership, caring, and compassion as a core part of the healthcare system for Durham Region. So my heartfelt thanks to everybody in this room and everybody who made today possible. Thank you. I'm now going to ask Sharon Cochran, Chair of the Board, to come up and say a few words.
Well, I'd just like to begin by saying welcome on behalf of the board to everyone. I think you've heard about the importance of this hospital, and I can't, the number of people that are here demonstrates really the importance of this hospital. I think also if you look back 2 weeks, when we had the open house, we had over 700 people come through and see the hospital restorations and be able to see the additional upgrades and the equipment and building enhancements. So I think this shows the importance of this hospital to the community. I think it's also should be noted with the restoration, you now have a very modern facility in Port Perry, and it's one that keeps pace, and I think this is really important with some of the larger community hospitals. So I would say congratulations to everyone on that. Now, I've been given some stats, and I'm just going to quickly give you those stats because what they show is the amount of services that are given here at this hospital. There's over 14,000 visits to the emergency department. You have over 13,500, to be precise, diagnostics exams. There's over 400 hospital births, and you have over 3,000, approximately 400 surgeries. That is per year. So the hospital is important to the Port Perry community, and it's really, really important also to the Lakeridge Health system. And so all of this access is due, as you have heard, to the commitment of the physicians, the staff, and the volunteers. And I have just one final tribute to everyone. It was a tribute that was done and prepared by a young member of my family over the weekend. He really wanted to produce a sign. He's quite young. So what we have is a dinosaur thank you sign, all right? And it really is a thank you to the community for their support during this restoration. I'll repeat, thank you to everyone that was involved with the restoration and to the staff and to our young members. See, I will share my dinosaur sign. So I would like to just extend greetings to Lindsay Park, the MPP for Durham, and she will come to the podium.
Thank you, Sharon, for those remarks, and thank you everyone for coming out here this morning. I'm amazed with the turnout. It's incredible, and it really goes to show how much we all care about our community hospital here in Port Perry. Now, I've never heard anyone complain about a politician's remarks being too short, so I'll try to keep my remarks brief. It's a privilege to be with you all on such an important day for North Durham. As MPP for this area, I take great pride in knowing about the valiant efforts that were made to respond to the unfortunate circumstance of the Port Perry fire in August. Disruption to the delivery of care was minimized, and great care was taken to ensure that each patient, family, and staff member was kept safe. I want to extend a special thank you to Lakeridge Health Oshawa and Lakeridge Health Bowmanville, who stepped up and provided service and provided a home for many of our doctors and nurses and healthcare practitioners over the last year while we were going about the restoration. While this could have been a detrimental event to our region, instead our community came together, and our community and our hospital are better for it. It's important to have excellent care close to home. We all know about the need for rural care and the value of our community hospitals, like the Port Perry Hospital, in providing better access to health care. And trust me, We all know how much you love your hospital in Port Perry. On a more serious note, the reopening of this hospital today is a testament to the commitment and dedication of Lakeridge Health staff and its community partners to investing in healthcare close to home. This is the power of working together in the face of obstacles. And we all know our doctors, our nurses, and our healthcare practitioners do that every single day. Together, we will continue to build strong communities across Durham region. And I want to thank all of those who were a part of responding to the crisis and those involved in the subsequent restoration and renovation work that not only brought back this important hospital to the region, but has brought it back better than ever. Now I'll call upon our Deputy Mayor, Jana Guido, to share her remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay, and good morning, and thank you for inviting me here today. On behalf of Mayor Rowett and members of council, we are happy to be with you today to celebrate. As a resident of Scugog and a mother of 2 children who I can proudly say were born right here in this hospital, I know how fortunate we are to have an excellent health care close to home. There are many factors that contribute to a strong community, and one key component is having access to health care. The fire highlighted many things in Scugog. Firstly, our hospital is a vital part of this community. But with that, just how fortunate we are for the amazing staff at the hospital and the heroics of our fire services. And certainly, as no surprise, the dedication of the team at the Port Perry Medical Associates. On August 25th, 2017, my family and I were en route up north for our end of summer vacation. It's amazing how you can remember the fine details of significant events in your life, and this was one of them. I clearly remember happily passing the time in our car ride with listing our favorite events from the summer. The sun was shining, we were planning the last week before we went back to school. The kids were getting along, which is a significant event all of itself. And then I got a text from a friend, and that friend said, "The hospital is on fire." I immediately went to Facebook, which nowadays is where we tend to go for our information, and the images and videos were heart-wrenching. The worry for the safety of the patients, the employees, and the community. Over the course of the weekend, many heartfelt stories emerged, from a baby being born in an ambulance in the parking lot, to neighbors coming out and helping the staff, the community, and the emergency services, to children taking up collections to help rebuild our hospital. The focus of the community became the hospital. You could see a pivotal change. What once was a place where we went to when we were in need became the place in need which the community went to. Today's reopening is an amazing gift to our community. The hospital fire was a worst-case scenario for Scugog. However, we came out stronger. Our hospital now has many new upgrades incorporated with the repair, many of which would have taken years to accomplish in a working hospital. A key part of overcoming the difficulties with the hospital closure was the incredible team at the Port Perry Medical Associates. The doctors and their teams demonstrated their astounding commitment to ensuring members of the community had care during the hospital closure. They extended hours and services to fill an important need in our community during a very difficult time. We are humbled by the dedication of the Port Perry Medical Associates, and there are no words to express our gratitude other than a sincere thank you. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the fire and emergency services from Scugog. You saved our hospital, plain and simple. You are true heroes. While everyone was running out, you guys were running in, and for that I offer a sincere thank you. We also would like to thank the fire services from Brock, Uxbridge, and Oshawa who offered their support. Our hospital has been an important part of this community for decades, providing integral local healthcare services to residents, along with local job opportunities. The depth of commitment to this hospital from this community knows no bounds. When threats of closure, they sent in buses to show them how much this hospital meant to us. When a fire erupted, the community rallied together to help. And today as a community, we celebrate. It is with relief and much appreciation I say thank you to Lakeridge Health for your commitment to maintaining and improving our hospital. It will continue to serve the healthcare needs for our community for generations to come. To the staff, and there's many of you, of Lakeridge Health Port Perry, I proudly say welcome home. It is my pleasure now to call upon Diane Martin, who will bring greetings from the auxiliary.
Yes, joyful greetings from our auxiliary. So many of you speakers have already summed up so much of what I wanted to say, but how do you sum up this feeling, this pure, unadulterated joy that we all feel and we've all spoken about? So I'll just toot the horn of the auxiliary for a little bit here. Last year, a year ago, when the fire took place, all the pessimists in town were predicting that it would be closed down. It didn't close down. It's back again, and what we have amounts to a brand new hospital, state-of-the-art, and it's going to be the envy of all the other hospitals in our region. I just know it. We had visitors from others, and they were all going, oh, should we find a way to start a little fire, or, you know, just a small one? So it didn't perish, and that was fake news. We know that now. And the same thing happened when we were told that the hospital would be closed down for such a long time. The volunteers were all in shock. A whole year to go without our hospital, in exile. But, and people said, oh, you'll lose all your volunteers. Well, no, that didn't happen either. And even though we did not have our hospital, the auxiliary does far more than in-hospital work, although we do a lot here. We have Camille's Closet, which was safe from the flames downtown. All of those volunteers were able to keep on working all year. Our poor little gift shop, off limits, but what did those volunteers do? They took the shop on the road, they packed it all up and held several pop-up sales all over town. And all over the region at other hospitals. And also some of this went on to volunteer at some of the other hospitals in the region. So, and the gift shop now is totally revamped. Note the new windows, and it's up for business once again today with its new fall line, so be sure to pop by later. So we found a new place, well, a temporary place to hold our meetings, and we got on with the business of organizing our major fundraisers. And people from miles around came out in droves to support everything that we did. Our wheelbarrow of wine lottery, our tag days, the polar plunge, where we also had our town crier and his dear wife, our fashion show, and much more. All were so successful that we are now able to donate $200,000 to the New Life Center this year. All thanks to our community chipping in. And those items that we purchased are 4 Panda warmers, very necessary for new babies, 2 fetal heart monitors, and 3 smart IV pumps. All of these items were on display when those hundreds of people wafted through the New Life Center. So Port Perry Hospital has a fantastic team of partners going for it. A wonderful staff at Lakeridge Health who moved heaven and earth to get this place up and running again. And on time, right on schedule, which is really a rare thing today. The Port Perry Hospital Foundation, who is responsible for those beautiful donor walls, and also for several more upgrades while the hospital was being repaired. The general public, our friends and partners out there in the community who answer the call for help whenever we need it. They dig deep, deep as they can. And of course, our volunteers, all of us in our pink smocks. Last year, without the hospital, we logged over 11,000 hours of volunteer work. And now with the hospital reopened, we hope to double that because here we are back again and hard at work. We can't wait to get back. This is our first day of work and we're all enthused. So we're very, very proud to be part of this partnership and we can't wait to get back to work. Long live Port Perry Hospital! And now I'll welcome our fearless leader, Matt Anderson, back to the stage.
Thank you, Diane. MPP Park, we've talked about the microphone thing. We've already had a conversation about this. Thank you. I do want to just do a couple of final thank yous before we wrap up. So MPP Park, thank you for coming. Really appreciate that. Councillor Guido, thank you for coming and bringing remarks. Really appreciate that. And Diane, amazing as always, so thank you. I do want to do one other acknowledgement of our foundation team, and this is particularly for Mark, who is the chair of the foundation. Not only has Mark been great in raising funds, we've forced Mark to wear a suit 3 or 4 times now in the last week. He doesn't like it more than I do, so that's right. So we've pinky swear we're not going to wear suits anymore when we come here. So let's end with, I think the best way to end is to really acknowledge our 2 most special guests who represent the next generation of the people that we are going to support here in our community. And that would be Bryce. Where did Bryce go? Bryce ran off. Bryce is very shy of the stage, and so he's run down the hallway. Nicole, his mom, usually stays with him. I'm not really sure what's happening here. He's about a year old, so usually moms are right with their babies, but they're going to come back, I'm sure. And Harris and Nicole. So wonderful that they were able to join us. Harris and Bryce are the true testament to how well we did at that fire, and more importantly, how well their moms did during that fire. So welcome to both of you guys. So that brings our ceremony to an end. It's back to business for us. So thank you all so much for taking the time to be with us today to celebrate the reopening and onwards and upwards for our hospital. If our dignitaries and speakers could stay back for one moment because we just want to do some photos up at the front, I'd really appreciate that. So thank you very much, everybody.